Are you ready for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous? Because I am.
Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous Through the Ashes DLC number 2 in line, my fair review. Second DLC for Wrath of the Righteous came out. This time it's completely disconnected from the main story and its characters. The only thing that remains the same is the setting. A lot of things changed in this DLC, game mechanics, combat. It's a one small experiment with huge potential. I say it like this because it ends in a huge cliffhanger, wanting you more, and it ended when it really got good. So let's go straight to sections and rate this DLC properly as it deserves. First section is the story. Story is about surviving the attack on Kenabres, random survivors. Your goal is to bring the message to Defender's heart before the attack happens. There is comedy, writing is classic, and the strongest part of the story, aside from that, was transition sequences from map to map. They were absolutely brilliant. As I said, just when you've seen the main bad guy of this DLC, and just when you got out of Kenabres, bam! Huge, big, to be continued letters in your face, making you want more, cause it just became really interesting. I don't want to spoil, there is potential for sure, but better to wait for full version than to play only one part of this DLC, and that would be my opinion. 8 out of 10 for now. Once I see the full story, it's probably gonna be 9 or 10 out of 10 if they continue with this writing. Next section is game bugs and optimization. People are complaining of bugs and performance issues. I had some minor bugs that were resolved in one simple quick load, nothing game breaking. The game works better than ever. It's really optimized well, above 60 frames in most of the time. Loading times are fast, not a single glitch or crash in my run. So, 10 out of 10. Next section would be game time. Now this depends on the difficulty you're playing on. It took me around 20 hours to finish this DLC on unfair difficulty, going in blind, and it would probably take 5 hours to do it on hard or easier difficulties. So for me, it offered a lot of quality time. I'm not sure if you'll get the same on easier difficulties. This is one short road. You might find this DLC a short one. Short but sweet though. 9 out of 10 for game time. Next section is game difficulty. The hardest thing I ever played on Unfair so far. Amazing how freaking hard every encounter was. You needed to think, exploit traps, exploit high ground, weak spots, conserve spells, conserve scrolls, potions, strategize. This DLC is a pure example why I love playing low level party compositions. Every move matters, that's why. I got challenged, I got my fun, and more is to come. That will be 10 out of 10 for game difficulty. Next section is maps and graphics. 3 huge maps and around 10 micro maps. That's what you can expect out of this DLC. It's Kenabres and Kenabres only, the first act. Classic dungeon crawling in caves, one big graveyard, and the rich quarter of Kenabres urban part. I loved it. I wished to see more though. Graphics are classic, I'm gonna repeat myself. You got more detailed review for the full game on the channel. 9 out of 10 for maps and graphics. Next section would be the most important one, gameplay. Pure 10 out of 10 score here. Mechanics changed, how you get experience is changed, every move matters, traps, ambushes, obstacles, and thank God only one puzzle in the entire game that took 10 seconds to solve. As far as tactics and combat goes, it felt like playing main campaign Kenabres again, but in alternate reality. Transitions on maps, party disease control, no safe resting, experience, control, strategy, ambushes, tactics. The mesh of all of those was just pure perfection for low level characters. As I said, pure 10 out of 10. You can't ask more from a cRPG. Next section is leveling and itemization. I said it's low level characters. You'll finish the game on level 5 with weak gear and weak items. Every potion and scroll will make the difference on the battlefield. The only thing that changed is how you get experience. You get 0 XP from killing enemies and from combat, and you only get experience on solving quests and making progress through Kenabres on specific spots. Very cool idea behind XP gain, and innovation is always a big factor in my reviews. I loved it. It puts extra pressure to pick what fights to do and what fights to avoid. Risk and reward factor. It's always present. 10 out of 10. I really liked it a lot. Next section is NPCs and enemies. 2 new companions on your journey, Sendri and Rekard. One is a classic conjuration mage and the other one is a ranged rogue. They are funny as hell and their conversations are really well done. They made me laugh a lot of times. So what sucks? Well, it sucks because it lacks 3 more new companions, or better to say 5 unique companions instead of 2. Having a full team of 5 unique weirdos instead of 2 would have had even more conversation options and even better immersion. Merc, or better to say those 3 mercs that you need to recruit, they dumb the game down and you get to play with 3 mercs in this DLC. Your main, 2 companions and 3 mercs. I hope they expand for the second part of this story and immediately add 3 new unique companions for this journey on top of those 2. I really hope it's gonna happen. Enemies, well, classic undead, cultists, and of course, demons. 1 new type of demon is presented, but we never got a chance to fight against them. They saved them for the second DLC. We just got to see them. As far as boss fights go, there are 3 in total, if you can call them bosses, cause basically they're classic enemies from the main campaign that are just 10 levels above yours and they feel like bosses. But in reality they're not. They should have added at least 2 unique bosses in name and in design. 8 out of 10 for NPCs and enemies. This was the most... well, I can't say... it was the laziest part, okay, of the game. The last section is music and sound. Great voice acting when it's there. Epic music as usual. Sound effects, they're just perfection. Nothing changed from Breath of the Righteous to this DLC. 10 out of 10. This is classic. And now we got final verdict. We got 9 sections with 84 points, and that would be 9.3 out of 10 for the second DLC in line, Through the Ashes of Kenabres. Now, let's sum it all up. In short, what you can expect out of this DLC. What's wrong? Lack of 3 companions instead of mercs. A bit short and it ends on a huge cliffhanger. No unique bosses. They could easily add at least 3 unique bosses in name and in design. It left me wanting more. I just got used to its new mechanics, I got some connection with the main characters and the story, and bam, to be continued. God damn it, man. I hate it when I have to wait for so long, cause I'll forget what I was doing on the second part when it comes out. It's better to wait for both parts and play a full freaking game and a finished version of it. I see potential here, huge potential. Not as good, of course, as Breath of the Righteous story, but still very, very good, okay? Better than most cRPGs on the market, and this is the DLC. Just a small tweak in some encounters during Act 1. A bit more diverse enemies, a bit more new bosses, you know. 3 new companions for the second part of the DLC on top of all of this. And we are in for a very unique journey that could easily end on level 10 and beyond. I'm praying to end on level 20 without mythic pots. That would be freaking great. Overall, the DLC is great, but I will rate it for good once I see it finished. It was just half of the cake for now. I'm gonna thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.